We're doing it. Well, we've texted Christoph Clark, Councilman Clark, and we haven't heard, so maybe he's on his way but we're gonna go ahead and get started because we have a time clock ticking. So is Andrea there? Andrea, is our interpreter? We go ahead and give your introduction.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Andrea with the Community Language Cooperative. We're going to be practicing language justice, and we're going to have simultaneous interpretation in English and in Spanish. This meeting will be streamed in both English and in Spanish. Hola a todos, soy Andrea, estoy aquí con la Community Language Cooperative. Vamos a practicar la justicia del lenguaje y esta reunión va a ser subida a YouTube en inglés y en español. Así que si estás viendo esto en este momento en inglés, puedes esperar y la grabación en español va a estar en YouTube. And host, we can start interpretation now.
Thank you. So I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. It is 19:01 or 7:01 p.m. for March 23rd, 2026, regular meeting of the City Council. All members are now present. And if you all would stand with me and join me in the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, we start this meeting by asking for your abundant blessing. We know that you love to bless your children and that you have secured all of our blessings for us. We boldly ask that you would pour out your richest blessing on this meeting. May our decisions be wise, may our interactions be sweet, may your presence be felt in our midst. In your word, you have promised that the blessing of the Lord makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Proverbs 10:22. We ask that you bless each person present with your grace, wisdom, and favor. Thank you for being a God who is always generous and loving. Thank you for blessing us in ways we cannot even imagine. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen to that too. Next, we have the agenda approval. City Clerk, are there any changes?
No changes to the agenda, Madam Mayor.
Cool. Cool. We will, next we will have the financial reports. And are there any questions? Hearing none.
Councilor
I have a motion from Councilman Moreno and a second from Councilwoman Stang. Go ahead and cast your votes.
Councilmember Camacho, I do have a motion to amend.
No.
Nope. Okay, I just wanted to verify.
Oh,
Thank you for verifying. Go ahead and vote.
next we have our staff reports. City Clerk, want to start?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On your dais, you have a agenda for the City Council retreat. If you have questions, let me know. But other than that, I don't have anything else to report this evening.
Nice. Mr. Wilson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I don't have much of a report. It's lovely to see all of you. I'm not Betsy Stewart. Good evening.
Mr. Mr. Granberry.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple items just to bring the council up to speed. Denver Water, their board will be holding a meeting this Wednesday to consider water restrictions for the upcoming summer year. I anticipate that there will be quite substantial or severe water restrictions going into place. Aurora Water, I think, just instituted some into last week. Most of the municipalities that operate their own water are anticipating having water restrictions this year just because of the level of drought and the very minimal snowpack that we're seeing right there, right up in the hills. So I anticipate that we'll see also here with us being Denver Water customers, we'll see some restrictions coming into place pretty quickly. And they will most likely be around limited watering days, limited watering times, those types of things. Is most of the water that gets consumed by municipalities is for irrigation, outdoor watering. So we will keep council abreast on that. Again, should have more information later this week on that. This is a follow-up item to Councilmember Whitaker made us aware of a beaver dam down on Bear Creek. At our last meeting, I did reach out to Mile High Flood District and they took a look and advised us that unless it was doing any severe damage, that we could leave it be right now. Sometimes they will come down and remove dams. Sometimes they will not. I think it depends on a number of different factors. What they're telling us could be the level of the water level in the rivers, if it's impacting any infrastructure, things along those, causing undue erosion. They looked at this one and said that they didn't see a reason to come down and do anything with it at this point, but we will keep an eye on it and make sure that it doesn't get to be what looks like any type of a hazard. So that's where that one is right now.
Thanks for the follow-up on that.
Of course. And then at your seats, I included a draft copy of the S&P ratings for our bond refunding package. As you can see, we have received a AA- rating. That is a high quality investment grade rating. It is what we anticipated we would receive as far as the rating. It is one step above what our COPs last year were issued. And that's what we anticipated we would receive, and we did. So I really don't have a lot. It says draft on here. It will be final when we go to advertisement on that. So when we advertise and start soliciting bids, that will take place. We will go for ad and bids next month. So we should be, I can't remember the exact dates. I don't have them in front of me, but it was mid-April, I believe, that we'd be going to the market on those. So good news, it came in exactly where we anticipated it coming in, and it's an excellent rating. And just to give you some perspective, on the very last page, I gave you a little chart that shows you where that sits, where that type of rating sits as far as all the level of ratings that they do for the different rating companies out there, Moody's, S&P, and Fitch. Our S&P is what we had. It's the middle. And again, AA- is a high quality investment grade rating. So very happy with the way that turned out. I think that's all I have for now, Mayor, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Anyone? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Chief?
Just one update. I know Councilman Moreno asked a few meetings ago about the officer-involved shooting, if we have ever heard from the clearance letter. We have not got the clearance letter, but on last Tuesday, March 17th, the Critical Incident Review Team, which is the CERT team, they are the investigating body. They did their report to the District Attorney's Office. They of course, interview everybody. They do a complete investigation. They presented that to the District Attorney's Office. District attorneys did not see anything that was out of the ordinary or that concerned them. Unfortunately, it was an incident that we believe the officers are going to be justified in. We've thought that since we first did the review. But hopefully that clearance letter will be coming out in the next 30 days. That's the hope of the District Attorney's Office. So that's just the next step, and that's been approximately 6 months, but that's just how long it takes because they are extremely thorough. So And today we have a couple of our interns here. We have Isaac and Manny, and they're here to watch the process. So if you have any questions of them, I'm sure they would be willing to respond. So thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the approval of minutes of the regular city council meeting of March 9th, 2026. Are there any questions on the minutes? I have a motion by Councilman Whitaker and a second by Councilwoman Stang. Go ahead and cast your votes. That passes. We're on to the consent agenda. Authorized disbursements that have been or will be made from March 1st, 2026 and March 15th, 2025 in the amount of $511,305.08 per the referenced and attached transfer of funds. Are there any questions? I do have a motion from Councilmember Moreno and Councilmember Camacho has seconded. Go ahead and cast your votes if there's no questions. That passes as well. Next, we have items for individual consideration. We have ordinance 4/2026 on second reading. Do I need to read it again? Ordinance on second reading. An ordinance of the City Council of Sheridan, Colorado, amending Chapter 50 of the city's municipal code by adopting a new Article 10 regarding fireworks. I have a motion on the floor from Councilmember Whitaker and a second from Councilmember Moreno. Are there any questions? Hearing none. You can go ahead and cast your votes, maybe.
Madam Mayor, I think we do have an update from the chief just regarding this,
Oh.
or some information, and then we just need to see if there's any comments from the public since it's on second reading.
Oh. Go ahead, Chief.
We just, or of course, we've talked about this previously, but
Mhm.
this is the ordinance that will help us with the enforcing fireworks and of course, the illegal use of fireworks in our city. So yeah, of course, we will try to warn people and help people understand the rules before we just cite them. But this is an opportunity to cite them into our local jurisdictional court if necessary. So, Jenna, was there anything else you wanted me to cover on that? Okay. Yeah, and just for the interns' knowledge, we did discuss this at the first reading, which was 2 weeks ago. And so there were an opportunity for questions just like we'll have today. So thank you. Thank you.
And anyone from the public who would like to speak on ordinance for 2026? Seeing none, we can go ahead and cast our votes. Wait a minute.
I had a question, Chief. I was just wondering if this
Sorry.
ordinance puts us online with local municipalities. Is it pretty similar?
Very similar to other local municipalities, yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Go ahead and cast your votes. That passes as well. Next, we have resolutions. We have resolution 11/2026, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sheridan, Colorado, approving an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Sheridan and Arapahoe County regarding the shared use of Arapahoe County's radio communications network systems. Are there any questions on resolution 11/2026? Staff comments?
Thank you, Mayor. Just really quickly and just more for council's information and for our audience. So this is an annual intergovernmental agreement that we execute every year with Arapahoe County for use of their radio communications network. So they acquire a network and then All the municipalities in their area have the opportunity to become part of that network. We use it for police department, we use it for public works, we use it for code enforcement. Any of our digital radios that we need, this is the trunk system that we use. And so this is, again, almost kind of a housekeeping measure, just sets out the provisions that we agree to on how to use their system. We pay a minimal fee for that, and just allows us to use it. So this is what that IGA is for.
Right.
That's it. Yep. Unless Chief, you have anything on that?
The only thing I would add, City Manager, is that, of course, there was a time in, that the Sheridan Police Department had their own dispatch center. It was, quite difficult to have the employees, the right number of employees that we had, et cetera, being a smaller municipality. So before I came, this was in place, and it makes sense today. Just so you know, we've thought about it, we've discussed it, and it would be a lot more expensive for the city if we were to set up and run our own dispatch center. So just in case that was a question anyone was thinking.
Any questions from council? I do have a motion from Councilwoman Stang and a second from Councilman Moreno. Go ahead and cast your votes. That passes as well. Next, we are to mayor's choice. The only thing that I have, actually, I could tell you all kinds of things. I've done lots of things lately. But the one thing I did want to put on your all's radar, I have talked with Ollie Sanitas, who is the Chief Executive Officer for the Arapahoe Library District. And he is, they are working through their legal team to come up with an IGA to work with the Sheridan Police Department, because whenever there's a call of disturbance or anything at the library, which is across the street, it's in Denver, so Denver responds, and oftentimes they don't get a response. So they'd like to have that agreement, and go through the process of getting the agreement so that Sheridan can actually respond to the library. So that, I think that's about all that I have. Any comments or anything?
We do. So this is a matter that has arisen not only with calls for police service, but calls for fire
Fire, well,
service.
yeah.
And not only with this property, but other unincorporated areas of Arapahoe County that we have a couple enclave spots, and we have a spot just north of town. And it has actually most recently come up with Denver Fire, but had discussions with them just last week
Good.
on some questions that they're doing an internal audit over Denver Fire. And one of the questions that came up with them is that how and do they respond to certain calls that are generated by those enclave properties or those unincorporated properties. And in the past, and oh my gosh, it's been at least 10 years ago or more, we've sent out letters to those properties letting them know that, hey, you need to be aware, we have a contract for fire service. It does not include service to areas outside of our city boundaries. And if you want to be assured of receiving fire service, you need to contact and make arrangements individually with that service provider, similar to what we're talking about here with the police as well. So it's kind of one of those things that it seems like it comes up every once in a while, and maybe you have changeover in property owners that aren't aware of this, but I know the chief, you can maybe talk about what we do in an emergency situation, but as for like general calls for service, either with police or fire, you're correct, we won't go over there. So I'm glad to hear that the library is looking at doing something along those lines.
So then would they have to do one with the fire department as well?
Yes.
So it would be two.
Yep.
Okay.
And we do respond to
Yeah.
emergencies there.
If it's an emergency, yeah. I
Yes,
know
we
that.
will absolutely respond. We've had calls of maybe somebody with a weapon that was around the library or
Right.
entering, we're absolutely going.
Yeah.
We can stabilize the situation, but if there's any type of charges, we currently work with Denver, because it falls within the city and county of Denver. So, yeah, I'd be interested to see how that works out and what we can do. We're always ready to help. It's part of our city, even though it's technically not, but
And-
we will respond in emergency.
Yeah, and I think, Mayor, we'd be happy to facilitate what that looks like. If, does it look like an IGA? Does it look like, I don't know what exactly, maybe Denver Fire might want something slightly different than what we want to look at there. So, but we'd be happy to facilitate that, meet with the library staff and help them out.
So same would be for the clinic then?
The clinic.
Because it's,
Yeah, I mean, the sheriff's office is gonna respond probably most of the time to these. I think that there just can be some misunderstandings about certain properties that are out there, that there's an expectation maybe that Sheridan is responding, but we will not be the first responders on some of those things. And
Right.
Denver will not. Now, the
'Cause
the
it's
clinic
the
is in
time-
Denver.
yeah,
Yeah,
The
so the
clinic is-
clinic is in Denver, the library is in Denver,
Right.
so they don't have to worry as much about that aspect for it. Denver Fire will respond.
right,
But it can be those enclave areas like over here off of Oxford
right.
with some of the industrial area, they won't respond.
And the one up
And
north
then
is
north of
this
the seven,
the-
whatever street that is, north of.
car wash and
Yeah.
what have you,
Yep.
the 7-Eleven,
There's a little
That
enclave
weird-
up there.
little spot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
good to know.
Yep, so the primary on those is the sheriff's office, and there's really those two areas that we've worked with Denver Fire in the past to help put out notice to those folks and say, you need to reach out to the fire department and make arrangements.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Mhm.
Cool. Well, expect to be hearing from Arapahoe Library, which is pretty cool. Next we have council members' choice. Does anyone have anything? Oh, come on.
I do.
Good. Go ahead.
All right, I've got two unrelated constituents down. Let's see, it'd be North Irving right before it gets to Bear Creek, that have mentioned the easement between the Bear Creek Mobile Park and the sidewalk is really unkept.
Yes.
So I couldn't get any pictures before the meeting, but I'm just hoping that it's something that the messaging from the customer or the constituent was, I'm reaching out because I've been noticing an increasing number of compliance issues around our city. And we had a really great talk. I let her know, if there's something that can be done now, send it to me so that I can help get it taken care of. But it affirmed another citizens, kind of notes about that same stretch and how it just was really kind of an eyesore. What can I do?
Okay, and so let me confirm, so North Irving, at Irving and Bear Creek?
Yeah, I
And-
think the street is like Bear Creek, South Bear Creek.
Oh,
Let's see if I have the map up still.
and
So it's Irving and West Bear Creek Drive, where it's very interesting. It's an interesting block. There's a business there and some homes, and I can see how it would get looked over because Irving's a dead end at that point.
Right,
what runs into the creek.
Yeah.
okay. I know the area now. I know what you're talking about that. Some of that is private property, some of it is gonna be, there's a mix
Mhm.
of stuff going on there.
Mhm.
So we'll have code enforcement go down and take a look and see if anybody needs to be notified or what we need to do to get that cleaned up.
That's really what they wanted.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
You bet.
Anyone else? Did you want to tell us about your flyer you blast out?
Yeah. So Michael and I have scored
Score!
in that
Sorry.
we are collaborating with the Mountain Crest Event Center for what we're calling the Spring Fling Block Party. And the whole idea was to get it in someplace safe off the street, right? But they've got that beautiful venue that Victoria and I even looked at that venue as a wedding venue, but it's a little out of our price range. So when I say that Michael and I've scored, they have donated time and effort, and we're going to have a pizza party, outdoor games, a couple hours on a Sunday, April 26th. And then Victoria at Monahan's agreed to do an after party there with free pool and darts for an hour or two after we close things down at Mountain Crust. But really excited about that. We're going to do paper plane making. What else? What else do we have in terms of the?
We have a bubble machine.
Yeah. And arts and crafts. There's something with butterflies. Jean came up with this butterfly thing. They're going to make butterflies. I don't know if the butterflies will fly, but the paper airplanes will. We'll make a mess and then clean it up, and it'll be a great place to have a little party on a Sunday.
Nice. Cool. Anyone else? Okay. Public comment? Do we have anyone for public comment? No? Okay. Then in that case, this meeting, we can go ahead and adjourn this meeting. It is 19:25 or 7:25 p.m. And we will move right into the Sheridan Redevelopment Agency meeting. I'll go ahead and call the March 23rd, 2026 meeting of Sheridan Redevelopment Agency to order at 17:26 or 7:26 p.m. All members are present. So we have the approval of the minutes of the Sheridan Redevelopment Agency meeting of February 23rd, 2026. We have anybody got any questions? We have a motion from Council Member Camacho and a second from Council Member Moreno. If there's no questions, you can go ahead and cast our votes. Next, we have the financial reports. Are there any questions on the financial reports? We have a motion from Councilwoman Stang and a second from Councilman Moreno to authorize disbursements for March 2026 in the amount of $166,156.16 that have been or will be made for expenses referenced below. Legal expenses, 0. Other professional services, $3,059.40. City support services, $162,206. And other expenses, $890.76.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
can we close out the vote first for the financial reports and then we'll vote on the disbursements?
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
You're good. All right,
It passes.
perfect. Now, disbursements are up. Thank you.
Now dispersants. And we have a motion for the council member Moreno and a second from Councilwoman Stang for the disbursements. Any questions? Hearing none, we can go ahead and cast our votes. Next, we have new business. And do we have Teresa available?
Good evening, everyone. So, as you can see, our new retailers, we're still having the renovations at Cobblestone, and Krispy Kreme's still kind of in the early phases. Hopefully in the next couple months, we'll maybe hear a proposed opening date because we have to try those out. And so, pledged revenues, I am happy they continue year to date to be higher. They're at 5.71% higher. We didn't have any continuing compliance in March, but that's good because I am working like a madwoman on getting all of the audit work papers ready and tied out and everything to make the auditors happy. So that's what I have been doing for the SRA. So happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have any questions?
Thank you.
No questions? Thank you. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Hmm.